We have been in the beginner stuff. We have covered the basics of getting set up. We're talking about stuff like, hey, well, how do I get my workspace set up? How do I get installed? How do I get NinjaTrader configured? How do I get the data set up? We've done all of that. We've got your hardware rolling. We've got your proper desk layout. We've got your monitor layout. We've got your keyboard, your mouse. You're ready to rock and roll. You've got the system set up. You're sitting up here going, hey, I got my 5-chart layout, or in this case, let's go up top left here. I might have something a little bit more basic. I've got the 3-chart flag layout here ready on my laptop, ready to go. Or you know what? I'm on an older machine. I got an i5, but hey, I've got 3 charts and I've got my Mac V loaded up so I can do my 2-step entries that we've talked about several times. Or if I've been following along on Vinny's live streams like we did today, it is Wacky Wednesday. We had massive amounts of news, huge volatility, high VIX, lots of ticks, picked up a lot. You don't have to wait till after the boot camp. I'm here every day. I'll be here tomorrow morning. So come and hang out with us. As we've scrolled through here, you want to look ahead to see where we're going. I'm going to make a slight adjustment to this. So if you're watching this later, you're going to be able to start at the top and just know, oh, he's moving down the list on the left-hand side of our documentation. You should already know, go to algoboxpro.com and at the top there, click on docs, or the proper URL is docs.algoboxpro.com. And we're over here on the left. This is, we are currently in fundamentals right now. So I'm going to go on down here, and we covered the last thing was around the algo bars, range bars, talking about the 2 types, how we don't use time bars, and showing the comparison between the two. If you guys remember this diagram from yesterday and how to get your algo bars all set up. Where's that time chart? There we go. Algo bars versus time charts. There they are, flipped back and forth so that you get to see the patterns inside of those. All right. Contract rollover. What is contract rollover? Now, this is particularly for futures. If you are using AlgoBox on stocks, you don't need to worry about this. So if you're a stocks trader, you're like, what is this contract rollover thing? And what's the difference between a futures contract and an options contract? We're going to go over a little bit of that. I'm not going to tap into the options side of things. Options is a whole other thing. I always joke about options because options has too many options. Trading U.S. futures, traders must know about contract rollover and how it affects price behavior before and after the rollover dates. Now, what is a rollover date? So the rollover dates occur depending on what type of instrument that you're on. Now, we're always talking about the NERD, right? The NERD. This is NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow. Now, inside of those are particularly, those are equities indexes, okay? So on the indexes, these are going to roll over quarterly. So that's going to be basically 4 times a year. Now we have, let's talk about crude oil real quick. That's a different animal. Crude oil is once a month. So let's see, monthly. And it's going to be 12 times a year. You got to switch this guy out all the time. So crude oil is monthly. Let's talk about currencies. This is also quarterly, 4 times a year. And metals. Metals is a little weird. This is bi-monthly, 6 times a year. So every 2 months on the metal. So what's an example of a metal? That's going to be gold, silver, like that. Okay. So first, just take a note on this. This isn't, at the end of the day, we focus on execution, right? But you need to know these things, and these are going to show up. Now, these also, they're not at the beginning of the month. There are rollover dates, and we've got an indicator for you that's going to help you out with that. And we talk about it in the Discord, and there are calendars for this type of stuff. You just need to know that there are certain things that we're going to do around contract rollover, and you'll kind of learn about my bucket system, particularly when markets are hitting kind of all-time highs and or hitting lows during, doesn't have to be all-time highs, but basically continuously making lows. So you kind of got, when we are rolling over, the concept is going from 1 month, let's go to, like for instance, at the beginning of the year, you're going to be on what was just recently the 03 contract, and we went over to the 06. Now that 03 is going to be like the 3rd month of the year. So the 3 is going to represent March. Okay, so you'll hear people refer to it as, oh, I'm on the March contract. So then we got April, May, June. Now on 6, you're going to be on the June contract. Now you might be thinking, well, we're currently in April, but you're doing the June contract. There's a lot about futures. Like, I'm not going to go all the way into that. There is a beginner course that you may have already taken. It's actually available on our documentation section. It is the last item in the prep section there, and hopefully you've already gone through that and learned what a futures contract is and how that whole thing of front month contract and how that works, and going future price or future estimates on what something will be. Like, hey, I'm gonna pay you. I am making a claim to you to say I am going to pay this price on this date in the future, and that expiration date has to do with that. All of that is in that beginner section area. I'm not going to go in details on how futures contracts work in the physical world, particularly because we are we're speculators. We're here to speculate in the short term where it's going to go over the next number of bars. Okay, but you do need to know just generally how this rolls over. So we're going to roll over from the 03 contract to the 06. And when this occurs, there will be somewhere around this March area, like basically when this expires in March, you need to be rolled over into the next contract for it to be able to trade in April, May, and into June on this contract. And then that will expire in June, and then we'll go over to the 09 contract and so forth. Let's see, contract rollover typically occurs 4 times per year for U.S. futures contracts. Yes, traders can determine when they need to move the new contract by watching the volume of both the expiring contract and the next month's contract. Now, that is the technical rule for that. Like, you literally are like, you want to be trading in the contract. Like, there's going to be a moment in time when both contracts are valid. So you'll be on the date that is like we're actually rolling over, and you'll hear us talking about this. On the date that we're going to be rolling over. And by the way, this is just a button press. Like, if you're concerned with, oh no, I'm getting lost here. Oh, I don't know what is all this. I don't want to do futures. I'm going back to my stocks world. Just trust me. It's just one button click. And if you know all the advantages of futures, trust me, you should be doing futures, in my opinion. It's basically a button click. You're like, do you want to roll over? And you like click the yes button. Okay. First of all, NinjaTrader will automatically kind of do that for you. But if you'll hear me say, hey, we're waiting till Friday after the close to roll over my contracts, you might want to do that. So basically it will almost always land on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And within that 3-day window on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, WTF, all right, WTF is going to be during that Wednesday through Friday, a time where both contracts are valid technically, but the majority of the contract volume is going to be traded still on the 03 until usually that Friday end of day-ish. Then all of a sudden that Monday and over the weekend, that Friday will be, you'll see that volume contract. Now, some people have gone so far and they'll set up their market analyzers to watch the volume. And if you want to be that guy, you're that techie guy and you like that kind of stuff, absolutely do it. I used to be that guy too. Like, now I'm just an old fart and like, I get it. Let me just, okay, roll over the contract, press the button. If you want to watch the volumes, as soon as you see that volume go over, so if there's like 5 million contracts being traded on this one and this one it was 4, then all of a sudden later on in that week, you see this roll and all of a sudden there's only 2 million on this one and there's 4 million on this one. Well, then if that happens on a Thursday for some reason, then roll over on that Thursday. And sure, if I do see that happen, then I'll do it. But do you know how rare that is? Like, I can't remember the last time I saw that happen because everybody's just kind of like me. They're old farts and they're just like, okay, we just do this. We do it on the Friday. We roll it over to Monday. And it's not a big deal. I'll show you a live example there in just a moment. We are currently on the 06 contract. We're in, today is April 23rd, 2025. Once the newer contract has traded more volume than the previous contract, it is time to update your charts to the new contract. And luckily for the smart traders that use AlgoBox, we have a contract rollover indicator that automatically plots a vertical line on the chart for you. Yes, we do have that. And that is called the AlgoBox contract rollover indicator. Now, I usually tell you, you don't want this calculating all the time. So put this on a high time frame chart. You really just need this up on your 89 range chart. I have that automatically installed on the 89 range, as you can see demonstrated in this image right here. Okay, this is on the 89 and you see that yellow line right there. This is a screenshot back from September 2024. and you'll see, so if you were coming into this date right here, it will show that vertical line. It's like, if you're still trading that same contract on this side of the line, you go, oh, I forgot. It's like, it's Monday and you're going, wonder what's going on. Why do the charts look a little weird today? They feel like they're missing data and they're super smooth for some reason. What's going on here? Or they're not moving at all. And you like look up there and you're like, oh, I got this contract rollover deal. And we actually have a button for that, which I don't see in our screenshots here. It looks like we need to expand that a minute. Eddie, if you wouldn't mind, let's get that updated. Let me show you guys what that looks like. I'm gonna open up my 5-chart workspace here and show you what that button looks like. All right, so I've got, here's my 89 chart, and if I expand it over, and what happened is in that screenshot, so it's kind of zoomed in like this, but then if I expand it, watch, one little pops in here, or you can hit this little down arrow. This is probably a good thing to kind of showcase there while we're here. So if this ever is collapsed, you can hit the little arrow icon and you'll see next rollover date. Anytime, in fact, this is a good one to show. There's an always on top option right there on any chart. Just right click it and set always on top, and that affects Windows, the operating system itself. So now no matter what, even if I click over here, that chart is going to remain on top, and that can be handy for several reasons. You'll only need it when all of a sudden one day you're like, hey, I want to put this chart on top of this chart, and I want to see this other chart while I see the other chart at the same time. And you're like, hey, you know what? I remember that thing Vinny said about always on top. Cool, there you go. And that is a button. It says next rollover. That is not just informational right there. If you actually press that button, it is an actual button. So you can actually press this button and it will roll over the contract for you. So that is one way to do it. If you launch NinjaTrader, NinjaTrader will actually give you a dialog box that says, hey, we think you should roll over right now. Do you want to roll over right now? And you can click yes. Now, oftentimes it will do it on that Wednesday and that Thursday and that Friday. And I will generally tell you, don't do it. Don't do it until Friday on the close. And I will make that mention in the live streams, in our chat room, in our premium room. So keep up to date with what we're doing there. And we'll just make it easy for you to kind of give you that information until you become very familiar with this. But just know our system is there to help you out. Now, because that next rollover is there, if I scroll all the way back, I might even be able to catch that. No, it's too far back. I would need to add more days of data. Am I connected currently? I am. So let's add more days of data and we'll kind of show some of that. This is only 10 days back. Let's go like 30 days back. We're kind of at the end of the month here, so I probably need to go even farther. I'm going to go 40 days and we'll look for that yellow vertical line that you'll see it as an example here. Still April. A lot of, oh, there it is. Finally. I just got it in there with 40 days. I should have probably done like 50 days to see that, but there it is. There is the vertical line there that tells you should have changed this over and kind of gives you the, hey, I'm supposed to switch over to the 0625 contract right there. Okay, there's that vertical line. Okay, so that is contract rollover. Inside the settings, there's not a lot going on in here in the settings, but you can check that out. We want it visible. Yeah, we just do this for every setting. So into the details, the data series, I believe I tell you to make sure that you put it on the chart that you want it on. We talked about color linking yesterday, making sure that your charts are all linked. So when you hit that contract rollover button, it won't just roll over just that chart. It will roll over all the charts that are color linked. And remember, our workspace is already color linked for you. But if you ever have a reason to add a new chart or change a chart, remember that color linking that we talked about and went through yesterday. If you don't know about what I'm talking about with color linking, go ahead and search for color linking up in the in the little ask section there, or head over to our new AlgoBox GPT and ask AlgoBox GPT. And this is fully trained on AlgoBox, and I'll keep hitting on that because it is a really cool new feature. Let's talk about trading sessions. So if you've been on my live streams, you have seen me type the command !sessions in our chat in Discord. And let's give a quick demonstration of that. Don't forget, if you have not printed out the syllabus or want to follow along, remember these are all of the items that we cover in our deep dive trainings, and you will know all of that. So here in the main chat, I'm going to type !sessions. So if you ever want to look at a copy of one of these, you can also, go into our documentation, but I try to make everything available in Discord. If you're living inside of Discord, you're probably a happy camper. But this is a nice little handy guide for reminding yourself, okay, what part of the day are we in? And I might want to, especially when you are new trader, you probably want to print this out. You want to know, okay, what do we do at the New York Open? And we'll have favorable direction is less reliable. Remember these little rules and stuff that we have there. I'm not less concerned with the favorable direction that's showing me there on the chart in the afternoon becomes very important. The potential reversal zone, the 940 to 950 zone that we should almost rename to the Whiskers zone, because Whiskers is famous for trading this 10-minute window and pretty much making his entire living during that 10-minute window every day. That's like he's looking for that reversal in there between 940 and 950, and he just waits around and smashes that sucker, sits on his hands there and just goes for it. The sit on hands section there, 1010 to 1030. Now, if you've been watching our live streams, you will see me go, all right, sitting on hands, coffee time. I call it coffee time, and we're going to sit on our hands for 1010 to 1020. Usually a good time to take a stretch break in there. We talk about the forced hands that occur from 930 to 1010. What do I mean by the forced hands? The forced hands are the 401ks, the IRAs that have to put their money into the markets within the first 30 minutes of the open. Also, the people who call in their orders that are, I think it's a little bit more rare today, but somebody who placed their order overnight that didn't say play during the overnight session and pay the extra commissions and all that other kind of whatnot. When they place their order, like after work, and they come into their desk and they're like, you know, I don't want to buy some Apple tomorrow. Well, they press buy and it says buy at the open. Well, that means it has to be executed in that first 30 minutes. The forced hands come in that first 30 to 40 minutes, and it's really 30 minutes. They have to be done. And then there's that little 10-minute window there where you can see and almost feel the churning of another set of hands starting to pick up. You also, right in that area, have the close. You start working towards the close of the London session. Remember, the London Open is going to be starting at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. It is now starting to roll into their closing time as we are coming into the end of their day in this same window of time. Beast mode. So there's a whole video around beast mode hour. We'll go into this in the advanced level stuff when we start to hit into beast mode, but this session's already has it marked out there for you. We took advantage of this several times in the last couple of weeks there when the market is in a trend scenario, trending very hard in the morning. I would say hard because sometimes it's in the grind. It's usually grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. You're like, oh, this feels like a grind forever. I guess it's going to grind all day. But where does it shift? It generally shifts between that 11 and 12. Now, I kind of learned that it extends the real sweet spot is 11:30 to 12:30 for the reversal, but I'm getting prepared for that beast mode hour between 11 and noon. Okay. LunchBot, if you're somebody asked earlier today about LunchBot, so LunchBot is hard coded to run during this time window, 12 to 1. It's there to simplify it for you, but you do have to have your clock set to Eastern Standard Time for that to work. There's a whole series of information around that, so make sure you go through. On the left hand side of Discord, there is actually a dedicated room to full auto. And the LunchBot, there are 3 videos that specifically walk through the stuff on LunchBot if you're wanting to turn that LunchBot on during the lunch hour there. Afternoon session, you get the drift. Like, this is basically how the day breaks down. We'll go into the advanced level stuff on this when we get to the advanced level stuff at the end. We're kind of putting it all together, but just know you'll be able to come over here to this trading sessions area knowing, be like, okay, where are we at? What's the BTFD? What is the 350 Algo area? We're going to come back on all of that, and you'll see me walking through these during our live sessions. This, again, is our boot camp, so we're running through things, trying to get everybody up to speed as quickly as possible. So I'm not going to go into full details on that, but you just need to know that there are various sessions and session times for each of these sections. New York Open 9:30, widely recognized for its high liquidity and volatility. 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday to Friday is considered the regular trading hours for the U.S. markets. Talk about these all the time. There's a nice little graphic for that 9:35 area. So that first 5 minutes, you'll see me kind of sitting on my hands, and I will turn on the Enigma bot. That's kind of what is there in that little graphic right there. You'll see me do that in the mornings. You're like, okay, Vinny's sitting on his hands for the first 5 minutes, but he's got Enigma, letting it run on its own. Now, on occasion, if it's absolutely a perfect trade, then I will. But remember, these are standard operating procedures. I do not call these rules. I don't like them. I don't like calling them rules on our on the actual live stream. They're labeled as rules because rules is quite, it's shorter than saying SOPs. Most people know what SOPs are, and standard operating procedures is a longer word, and people generally refer to them as rules. I refer to them as standard operating procedures because it's when things are standard. There will be exceptions to a standard when you need to bend the rule, but you need to know that the rule is there. and know that you can be flexible if the market adjusts. 940 to 950 reversal. We briefly talked about that just a moment ago. This is that Whiskers special that we just talked about. Soon after the New York Open of 9:30 a.m., there often tends to be a significant reversal anywhere from 940 to 950. This reversal does not happen every single trading day, and the time frame is not exact, but it is fairly common. We have professional traders in our community that specifically look for the 940 to 950 reversal time. Nice little graphic there for that. Save that one for yourself. Be looking for that reversal there in the 940 to 950. And don't forget, there are full videos around this type of stuff with examples, and there are rooms on the left-hand side of Discord in the example section as well, and we will show that later on. Oh, here we go. We've got some examples in our documentation here as well. Look at the time of day down there, and boom, pivot reversal. This doesn't look like much, but remember, this is a high time frame. This is on the 9s right there, and that is a big play coming off of the bottom right there. We've got that one is a fib dot along with the 15 level AO and a double delta shift showing up at that same time. Remember, we're not just going into 940 to 950 and pressing the button. This is a time filter scenario, something saying, get ready, look for this in this area. Now, what am I waiting for? Now I'm waiting for my 3-step entry. What are they? 1, I want what? The nerd, right? I want some part of the nerd shifting with me. Number 2, looking for the arrow on my local, right? 2 steps. And then 3, cheat sheet entry, one of these. If you have any questions on any of that, do type it there in the chat, but you should have caught on to that there in the last couple of days there, or in our live streams. You'll see that happen a lot. Study, bullish fib dot appears on, okay, this is a walkthrough of everything that you saw there. Hopefully I got that right, if I called it all out right there, but there are the details of that image right there. Another one setting up there. Oh my goodness, a beautiful 20.5 PRZ, super PRZ cross. We have a PRZ shark back right there. That is a shark tail technically. Well, no, it's inside the PRZ. So that is straight up PRZ shark back play right there. 20.5 rolling down. Nice, beautiful play there at 940 to 950, coming in and correlating with the Bollinger Touch on top as well for your multi-confluence trade entry. The danger zone. This is that time I just talked about moments ago. After that first set of forced hands between 9:30 and 10 a.m. when they're forced hands, you got that. Now there's a little 10-minute window in there. Usually also a news event occurs at 10 a.m. almost all the time. They generally wait for that, and then 10:10, all of a sudden, just some wild action comes. There's a lot of fake out moves there. Be very careful, especially as a retail trader. Let the tools do the work. Okay, watch for the trap, watch for the setup. Take our plays only, or go grab a coffee, come back around 10:30 where things will slow down a little bit, and you'll see us do that quite a lot between 10:10 and 10:30 with the AlgoBox system and the Vinny Emini crew. Because again, we're kind of following along with the way that I do things. Now, if you want to do things differently, that's up to you. But if you're following along trying to go, hey, how do I do it? What do I do? That's how I do it. I think I just saw a question come in here. Let's see. For the nerd arrow play, are you using the small ATM usually? So the small ATM, it depends on where the setup comes. Remember, the small ATMs are dependent on which Ripple chart shows up. So in your question, you said arrow plays, are you using the small ATM usually? First of all, no. I wouldn't say that is. Remember, that play itself, that's just the filter part. 2 steps on the filter. Where it shows up will tell you what ATM you are looking for. If you are on big, small, based on the chart where the entry shows up. So where does the entry show up? If the entry shows up on the small, let's go to our order of operations location there. So if this lands on the bottom right chart, that is small. If it lands on the top right chart, then that would be a large. Does that make sense? In the 3 chart layout, in the same. So it would be chart number 2 or number 3. On chart number 3, then small. Chart number 2, then larger. And remember, it's one of these that we're looking for. Part of the 2 pillars. So after you've got your 2 filter entry components, now you want to execute on the 2 pillar entry strategy, which is going to be a structure and an R2FA event, real-time order flow event, right? 10 to 10:30. No trade zone, also known as the danger zone or coffee time, is a designated period, break period until the market returns to favorable trading conditions. Bullmaster Enigma, the exception, or the exceptional, The AlgoBox Flowmaster Enigma is the one and only exceptional tool for real-time order flow analysis for Vinny Emini during the danger zone. All right, so what they're basically saying there is, you will see me sometimes as I walk off and go grab my coffee, I will turn on, I will turn on the Enigma full auto. No, so now go to the example of like what you were saying on the ATM. Am I going to go small? Well, am I going to go small on an Enigma? No, remember an Enigma is a 20 tick target, which is beyond small, right? So small is 10 and 15. A level 20 is starting on a big. So if I'm going to walk away during this time period and I'm executing and turning on Enigma full auto, then the Enigmas are going to be a 20. So now this is dependent on the strategies. Now let me talk about where we're going to get into strategies. If you want to jump ahead, okay, scroll down on the left-hand side over here, and you're going to go down to strategies. Remember, right now we are up here in fundamentals, working through the fundamentals. When you get into strategies, you'll learn about stops, targets, and what I use for those various play setups, depending on, we'll do a correlation and combination of what algo bar size they're coming in on, if a higher time frame is coming into play or not, and if this is a scenario where I have a runner with me because I am playing with the directional bias at that time, or if I'm playing a quick play against it where I'm going to go only for a target 1, target 2 type of scenario that we'll talk about and when we hit in on those strategies. Okay, but good questions. His mind's thinking ahead. He's already way ahead. He's like, all right, okay, now what do I do? All right, he's like, Vinny, move faster. All right, I'm on it. Here's an example where a red Flowmaster Enigma appeared during the no trade zone, exception to the rule, and making it reasonable to take a short position in this instance. So yeah, there she goes. Big play coming off of that one right there. BTFD and STFR. All right. It's a little bit of a crude naming convention that came from Twitter. I didn't make this up. All right. BTFD and STFR came from some Twitter combinations. Abbreviations for buy the dip and sell the rip, with an expletive for the F in there, if you know what I'm saying. Abbreviations for the video are colloquial terms found in finance culture online. Not saying bad words, so what happens? When markets have been trending in the afternoon, there often tends to be a strong pullback from the trend, offering an opportunity to those aware enough to capitalize on it. This is in that last 30 minutes of the day. So the time clock down here at the 15:30, or what we talk about it as the 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, you will have the BTFD and the STFR. This is generally a potential large play, kind of like the 940 to 950, where we might catch a nice juicy trap. And once we catch that trap and push in and kind of grinding the other direction, you will see that pivot, and you'll see me do this during live stream events where I'm planning for something like that. Now, again, I'm not just taking it. So I want to remind you, once I've got this thought, this is the standard operating procedure. This is the narrative that I'm looking for. And if it shows up, and if I get my step 1, what? Nerd. 2, arrow. 3, entry cheat. Then I'm looking for that play entry, and then I might hold to the position or learn my Dr. Seuss advanced techniques for adding to position as a play goes your way. And I cannot reiterate how powerful Dr. Seuss entering is in the direction of the play. Even if you miss a play, for instance, you're behind it, you miss the opportunity on the first entry, you will sometimes see me enter in on a Dr. Seuss pivot on the way in the direction of the one that I just missed. I'm like, I see some powerful moonshot right back behind me. I see, oh man, I missed that moonshot and didn't get the initial entry. I'll wait for the Dr. Seuss entry to continue on down if it is one of these that has a higher time frame potential in it. Now, doesn't just mean on any play, but if I see that there was a higher time frame potential there along with it, that means a higher time frame bar is in play now and making a shift, then I can play it with the higher bar in mind, and there's a trade opportunity there, so I can grab a bag out of the middle of that move. That's too much for you right now. Roll back the tape, play it one more time, watch me do it in live streams. Let's move on. Vinny Emini prefers to take at least a 2-hour break between sessions to clear his mind in order to potentially regain full focusing ability for the second session. The afternoon session seems appealing to trade. Now, the short answer of that, there is a study, multiple studies out there that have proven that the human mind is capable of maximum levels of concentration for 60 to 90 minutes tops. Beyond that, again, yes, you can have some concentration, but it can't be full maxed. Like, it's like you got this burst of energy, electrical stuff going on in your mind, 60 to 90 minutes, and then it needs a break. You cannot keep and maintain that level of focus longer than that. So I generally will tell you in our room there, 60 to 90 minutes for my 5 trades, and those are risk management parameters as well. So I've got a time-based one based on 60 to 90 minutes. I'm either in the market 60 to 90 minutes or 5 trades, and I'm looking for, within that time window, what? 2 winners and a bonus within 5 trades. That's how I play the video game. I play like, okay, I'm Mario jumping into the game. I got 5 lives to play on, and with those 5 lives, I'm going to do the best I can. I want to put the most amount of points on the board. But I know, look, this is like riding a bull. Okay, you're going to jump on the bull, you're going to get the horns, and every bull rider knows. You just get on the bull and you get off. The bull will eventually kill you. If you stay in there with the bull long enough, the bull is way more strong, you know, way stronger than you and weighs a lot more than you and cut way more energy and just keeps on going. If you stay in there, try to hold on to that thing, it's going to hurt you, right? That's why they call if you actually ride a bull, this is a whole bull riding thing, go look it up, the whole 8 seconds thing. You have to stay on a bull for 8 seconds, which apparently is hard with one hand. Mind you, you got one hand and you can't use the other hand and all this other kind of stuff that they still make it a little bit difficult for you. But to ride a bull for 8 seconds, that's called a ride. Well, we want to ride the markets, and I think of it as the same thing. The bull, you're riding the bull. You want to get in, you want to get your bags, and you want to get out. It's like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. If you're going to fight Mike Tyson, bro, you want to get in there, maybe take a couple shots, and you do not want to stay in there long enough, though. You stay in there long enough, Mike Tyson is going to hit you, and all it takes is one hit from him. You know, hit the power behind his hits. Same thing with like a bull scenario. Think of that with the markets as well. Don't let the market knock you out. Get in, take a couple jabs, and then get out. Get paid for taking those jabs, right? Like, people came to pay to watch you try to swing at Mike Tyson. They paid for you to try to hop in the bull. You know, on the bull, like, oh, this is gonna be funny. Look at this jacktard jumping in the ring on a bull. Like, we're all gonna pay you to do that. But then, you know, if you die, I mean, yeah, that would suck. And then nobody's happy that they paid for the thing. You know what I'm saying? So get in, get out. My main point with that. And now the break thing. So why the session break? 60 to 90 minutes, I go off, refresh, 2.5 hours. Now I can come back and I can look again and I can refresh and get another 60 to 90 minute maximum levels of concentration back into the game. That's what I'm talking about on that. And I walk through that in the live streams as well. And that is what is being showcased here. Session 2. This is not like the afternoon. Remember, sessions 1 is the full New York session. This is after hours. So you could also label this after hours. Trading sessions 2. These are the evening hours. Okay, here we go. So Asian session begins right here, and they generally start their sessions right about here, 7 to 8 o'clock ish, and then they'll go to around midnight or so. And this is the official Asia session here that ends at 3 a.m. where we pick up the European session. And early US session begins there, and Europe, did I say 6 a.m.? I meant 3. My bad. Okay. So high volatility events come right here if you are, you know, the late night bird, or if you are overseas, you know, maybe this is your daytime, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great little, this is kind of like another open. This is like a US Open. There's generally some good volatility right there around the 3 a.m. area. You might find some edge playing that area there, as well as right here, potential reversal and some movement coming in right there at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I miss any questions? Buy the freaking dip. That's the one. You said it. Beginners, if we happen to get 2 to 3 losses in a row, should we stop for the day? So it's not about losers in a row. It is 5 trades. Increase your trade size from trades 1 through 5. It takes 1 trade to come back. That is the way that I approach the markets. I'm looking for, so some people are like, oh, well, if I take 2 or 3, oh, then I just quit. I don't. For me, I'm going to go ahead and address this question. So my whole philosophy around this, I don't understand the people, and I want to say I don't understand. Obviously I understand, okay, but I'm using facetious terms that everybody else says, okay. I don't understand why. Okay, I'm doing the I don't understand why thing. I don't understand why people have this mindset, because it is a mindset. Like, okay, so losers. Okay, let's say you took 3. Okay, well, the mindset for a lot of people, for whatever reason, and this is a poor mindset, so I'm gonna do it in red here. Okay, all right, this is bad mindset. Oh, I'm down 3. I guess it's gonna take me 3 trades to get back. Or, so here's my mindset. Here's what I think is better. And again, this is my opinion. Okay, folks, you guys can do what you want to do. If you want to do your one-on-one thing and you think this is how it goes and you want to do this, you want to break this mindset though, you want to see somebody do something better than what you're doing, you want to see it in action, I'm looking for one good trade. So I'm looking for one good trade to make it back and then some. If this occurs, I change my mindset. A lot of people tuck tail right here. At 3, they're like, oh man, because it's just not in go. This, for me, a different mindset is now I'm excited. Why am I excited? Something called Cadence. Look it up. Go watch my Cadence videos. I'm thinking now the market had its shot. Okay. And now it's my turn. The market shifts, comes back into my cadence, my favor. And now I'm looking for a bigger and a better play. And I'm looking for one trade to get me out of whatever, you know, I call them dips. So the dip in the P&L, you're picturing your P&L curve looking like this. So it's going to go on, and then you, okay. And you're like, oh, the question is what do you do right here? Like, oh, I guess I better quit and go do. Now, it's not good to play during the middle of the day or some kind of scenario like that. I still think that, you know, if your day isn't done yet, remember 3, I talk about 5. How many trades am I going to take in a session? I'm looking for 5, right? In general. Now, if I run out of time and my 60 to 90 minutes is expired, then yes, it's time to walk for 2.5 hours, right? Then I'm coming back, fresh mindset, looking for a great play, get everything lined up, let the stars align, get the same deal, like, and go back and look, like, what happened with those 3? What was going on? Did you really play with the nerd plus the arrow and have 3 in a row? Pretty rare. Did that occur? If it did occur, okay, well now Cadence is ready. Cadence is now moved back in my favor. Did you remember things like when in a grind, do not rewind? You hear these phrases that I state on a regular. Yeah, so stuff like that should come. Okay, so the P&L coming in and we got the dip. And now I literally want to see this thing go, okay, and then we're working again. That's different than, okay, took me 3 trades to get down here. I guess I got to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm back to break even. You can do that, but generally what you see for me is, okay, that's occurred, had a couple losses, it's like this. And then I'm like, whoop. Now that's just my mindset. And the system lets you do that. You just have to have practiced that. You have to believe that, understand that, be ready for that, mentally prepared for that. Because like whatever you're prepared for, whatever you're mentally prepared for, that is what will happen. Whether you do or whether you do not, that is what you will do. Right, the whole philosophy. Oh, I sound like Kamala. And the passing of time, and the passing of time is passing of time, and time is timing of passing, and passing of time. The passing of time, we look at the passing of time, the time of the past, the time of the time passing, passing the time. All right, how to schedule big opportunities. Go watch that video along with it. So all the stuff that I kind of just went over here is the deep dives right here. Obviously, a lot going on with that for the entire session. Sessions and me talking through sessions. And there's the core video just on sessions alone. Spend about 2 to 2.5 hours on that in the big dog, going through Mentorship Monday tactics in the original OG. But we're moving on because we're in boot camp, baby. We're doing it as fast as we can to get you up to speed on what's going on in the live streams and using the tool sets. Let's talk about time regions. Moving on to the next topic in our fundamentals. Time regions, chart alerts for important time periods. The time region indicator is an advanced tool that automatically highlights zones on your charts to warn you of the upcoming sessions or time alerts. No more having to rely solely on your memory of which time region is coming up next. What is he talking about? Well, all the stuff that I just talked about, you're like, oh, what was that sessions thing? And I got the thing printed up on my, but hopefully you do. Hopefully you got the thing printed for a while. You want it printed out on your desk somewhere. You're like, okay, the sessions, and then over time, you're going to know exactly what they are. But just in case you need some help, hey, we've already built it into the indicators set up for you on your charts. You're going to have these labeled up for you. This is the time regions indicator, and you'll get everything that I just talked about. The 940 to 950 alert, the 10 to 1030, the morning beast mode, the afternoon, the BTFD and STFU, and we didn't talk about this earlier, but there is the 350 algo that comes in there. It just gets wild child. It's almost like on a news event that happens every single day at 350. Like, stay away. Okay, occurs. There are some interesting things that occur on those days. You want to see me play those in live streams because that can vary depending on the different layout. If it is an inside day, if it's around the golden ropes, if it's external, if we're well extended, or in either direction. Then lucky sevens, the final 7 minutes of the day. There's a whole video around the strategy on that, and we'll get to that later when we hit into strategies. But time regions, they are all going to be drawn in there for you. Let's see, the time region indicator visually alerts you to any of these specified sessions or times you've been warned about, and you can turn these on or off. So you have the flexibility to see what you want on or off. You can have the entire region highlighted like this, where it's got a gray background. You can change that to whatever you want. I personally have mine like a puke yellow color alert when mine shows up. The time indicator applied to warn when the morning session will start. The red session shades the 2 minutes before the session starts, followed by a gray area that remains until that region ends. Now, you don't have to have that region coloring on. You can have just the warnings like I do. I have just the warnings on my screens and not the entire region. Up to you how you want to play with that. The 940 to 950 region will look like this in between its beginning and endings. The 1010 to 1030 looking like this. Again, by default, you can change these to whatever colors you want. Beat that dead horse. Morning beast mode hour, afternoon session, time regions. There are the settings right there that we really care about. Did I say care about? Care about. Morning sessions, you can turn these on or off, basically. These are pre-configured for you. You've got the time warning threshold is set to 2. If you want to change that from 2-minute warning, you want to get alerted 5 minutes before that comes up, go to town. 1 minute before, go to town. You want 0.5, you want 30 seconds before, like you don't care about it, 30 seconds before only. You can change that to whatever you want. Those are your settings changes, and of course in our documentation, all of the settings are completely fully documented in our documentation section. Next in the fundamentals, let's move on to news. What do we do with news? Anything can happen with global financial markets. Worldwide news events can affect market prices at any time, any day of the week. There are 2 main categories of news, scheduled and unscheduled. I really hit on this today. I actually was late here today talking to some folks about today was a day where like there was so much scheduled. This we can anticipate. This we can deal with. The unscheduled things are like a tweet that comes out or some magical thing that was unscheduled, not on the financial news calendar. It just pops up because so-and-so said something to that so-and-so. And there's a lot more of that now in the reign of Trump as president. You need to make sure you've got, as I mentioned in our day 1 on different tools that you need, you're going to need Trump's Truth Social now up on your screens in 2025 as a tool in your tool belt to kind of know when the unscheduled things. Like today, he popped in the middle of all of the scheduled news that was going on there today. Like, I was ready for the 9:45. Then it was like 9:42 and a half. Like, between 9:42 and 9:43, all of a sudden, there's this, I hear on Financial Juice, oh, Trump just tweeted about, said something about the tariffs, and now the tariffs, he's changed his mind on the tariffs, and cars are now going to, and all the market just goes all over the place, right? It was insane, right? That's the unscheduled one. But scheduled and unscheduled, 2 different types of news. Next, for scheduled news releases, Vinny Emini refers to sit on hands, don't trade. 2 minutes before, this is the key, 2 minutes before, and until 3 minutes after to allow market volatility to settle. This can help avoid liquidity issues, slippage, and spread widening issues, amongst others. 2 minutes before the news event, 3 minutes after. Everybody write 2 and 3. Because everybody forgets this one, but if you tactily write something down or type something out, it locks it into your brain. So type 2 and 3 there in the chat for us, and stretch your fingers a little bit. Now you're bored, you're like, Vinny, you're talking too much. I know, I get it. All right, future scheduled news releases can be prompted in our Discord by typing one of the following commands. Type _in or news tomorrow. These are 3 commands inside of Discord. !in if you're shorthanding. Okay, we get it. We know what you're saying. You're trying to get the news. !news will pull that day's news. And if you're like, I want to know what tomorrow's news is, you type !news space tomorrow. The word tomorrow will get you tomorrow's news. And what does that look like? I don't think I have a screenshot of that here, so let's pop that up and let's do that right now. So let's say I want to see the news tomorrow because it's after hours, after all. !news space tomorrow. News for tomorrow, and it kicks it out like this. AlgoBox, better news, durable goods, 8:30. A lot of stuff going on tomorrow. It's Red Star News Day Thursday. It's going to be crazy. A lot going on there at 8:30 before the open, about an hour before. Then 10 a.m. existing home sales, high impact. Then 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So things that we can, this is scheduled, right? I can plan around that. I can think around that. I can set my alarm to let me know ahead of time when those items are going to occur versus something that just pops up in the middle of the unscheduled news. For unscheduled news, our Discord has a dedicated news feed channel. Let's click on that link here and cross your fingers that it actually goes there, because sometimes these links are... Oh, it does. Look at that. Eddie is thebomb.com. He's been working on this for us here on the news. Clicking on news, it will take you straight in there. On the left-hand side of Discord, we have this as a tool set area, and this is going to have kind of in a tweet style setup here. This is a paid service that we use to get the latest news printing one at a time in one gigantic flow. So if you're like, whoa, something just happened in the market, I generally tell you one of the windows you want to have open is you have a tab open to this Discord area in the news over there on the left hand or the right hand side, depending on which monitor that you put it on. Remember, I tell you, I recommend having a 3 monitor layout for yourself. And news is one of those important ones that you want to have there for these events. Like, as much as we'll say we don't trade the news, we all want to know, right? You can't help yourself. Something wild happens, you go look at the news, you want to see what's happening. So there is a tool there for you. 24/7 automated stocks channel pulls earnings, gainers, and losers for US stocks. So if you are trading on stocks, my recommended methodology around trading stocks, again, AlgoBox does work on stocks. All you need is a data feed or stocks, and then you can literally type in AAPL if you want to check out Apple analysis. You want technical analysis from AlgoBox run on Apple, or you want one on Microsoft, MSFT, or you want something on Tesla, TSLA. You can literally type that on your chart, and if you got them color linked, boom, switch it, boom, all your charts will go to show you the multi-time frame across stocks. Now, one of the things you want with stocks, in my opinion, if you haven't just caught your basket of stocks that you're going to use all the time, I think you have your normal basket. You want maybe 5 to 10 tops of your main stocks you want to trade into. I really think you should probably boil it down to your top 3 or 4, kind of like the way that we do it here. The Nerd have 4 primary stocks that you're in all the time, and then create a bull list, a bear list, and a gap list. Those 3 lists, and then basically pull the top players off of those 3. That is the way that I like to approach stocks, in that very simple way with stocks. And of course, I don't really teach that much because I'm an E-mini guy now, but I'm looking for somebody who, if you want to do AlgoBox stocks, if that feels like you, if you're like, you know what, I've always wanted to be, aspired to be one of those crazy YouTubers, and I want to sit on a screen like Vinny does, and I want to teach people how to do stocks, or I want to do a morning show with stocks and show AlgoBox on stocks, come see me. I got some plans and some ideas for you, and even get you started on a YouTube channel that's got some sub following on it. Come hit me up in my DMs if you want to be the AlgoBox stocks guy or gal. It'd be awesome. Okay, FOMC, what I like to call fear of market conditions. Now, that's not what FOMC actually stands for. It stands for Federal Open Market Committee. I know, but I like to say fear of market conditions because on FOMC day, wild things can occur. So this is almost always on a Wednesday, and it's almost always at 2 p.m. Now, on holiday weeks, this will be on a Thursday, so be careful on those holiday weeks. It will oftentimes run on a Thursday, and it'll catch you off guard. You're like, what just happened? 2 o'clock, it went wild and exploded everything, and it went blew straight through, stops, targets, everything. It's just illiquid areas and whatnot because of the impact of the FOMC announcements. And you basically just need to know this is a massive news event. I'm not going to go into a ton of it here tonight. There's full videos around that, but it is something that we take into account and we alert for in our chat. And if you type !FOMC, you will see videos coming out on our FOMC day rules and how, and I call them rules, but again, I always refer to them mostly as standard operating procedures. I do hear the markets opening back up here. So I want to turn the sound down on that if you give me just a moment here. Otherwise that is going to get really wild. Just before, during, and after high impact news, caution is advised. Okay, caution is warranted for high impact FOMC events as well as non-farm payrolls on Thursdays, big news events. NFP. So you'll hear this term NFP. Non-farm payrolls generally happens on Thursday. In fact, that'll be tomorrow morning. Those 8:30 a.m.s, you saw all those there at 8:30. That is tomorrow morning. So an hour before the U.S. Open. If you want to get up early and play in that extra volatility there, this is the day to do it. Thursdays and overnight on Wednesdays, some of the best days. So the Nomads will have a great night tonight, likely a lot of movement because of the prep for the early AM 8:30 stuff. You'll see the Asian sessions and the European sessions really start to move and kind of position themselves overnight for the impact of that morning event on NFP. Let's see how FOMC, that takes you to... With unscheduled news events such as wars, political, economic news, it could be a surprise. So we must remember that anything can happen any day, anytime, and manage our risk accordingly. FOMC day rules in effect. We have that little graphic that pops up in our chat to remind us of that. Now, the news indicator, that will take us to the actual news indicator itself. We have a really cool news indicator. It's got a neat little GUI interface for you. So if you're used to going over to forexfactory.com, or whether you're not, if again, we have people who are absolutely brand new with this, forexfactory.com is where everybody goes and gets their news. There's also Econo Day, but mostly the majority of traders go to, basically they all get it from the same place. Now, Financial Juice is now a new kind of service thing where everybody kind of comes in, but I think it's a little bit harder to see. On those, the best way to kind of get it broken out there is on some of these other sites. But anyhow, we have this little GUI interface here. I would probably leave all the defaults on this in general, but unless you really just know what you want to take on or off, these are the settings on the news indicator that you want to use, and that is going to print the schedule ahead of time right there on your chart. So let's say you weren't looking to Discord, you've got it right here on your charts. Maybe you don't have to pull up Discord to go, type !news again. It'll be right there on your chart. And I generally put this on a higher time frame chart, but kind of up to you. I just don't want the overhead of this being processed all the time on a lower time frame. It can be moved. So this little panel, you just basically grab it. It's showing how to do that right here. You can grab those little triple dots and move it, or you can collapse it by pressing the arrow right there. So that arrow will cause it to collapse down into a single little row, and you can then grab that little triple dots. That is how you grab this little window area, and then you just move it. I usually move mine up to the top left and leave it just above that news text right up there. Now, inside of the news settings, it will also draw on your chart, which we don't have a screenshot here. This is actually going to, on your charts themselves, it will actually have the text now of the news event. So it'll literally write the text in vertical, and it'll be like, there is a news event right here from European session. And it'll be like FOMC meeting minutes. So you can kind of see sometimes the markets will react on those and like zip off of that little area. And that's pretty neat to see. It will draw it a couple minutes ahead for you if you have the setting turned on right here with the warning time threshold. You want to set this more than 3 minutes ahead. I think I have mine actually set to 5 on the live stream for myself. Actually, I think I set it to 10 minutes ahead. So I got mine set to 10, but take your pick on how and when you want to be alerted for the news in real time from your charts. If you want to lock in those settings and you don't want to use the GUI, you can set them inside of the parameter interface on the indicator itself. And you can come in here, and all of the options that are in the GUI are also here in the parameters, okay? You can also position where that news text is. By default, it is top left. It kind of just makes sense to me to be in the top left, but if you want to put it somewhere else, you can. Or if you want to have a blank chart for something and have it over, or, somewhere else, you can get creative with how you use the news indicator. All right, so let's move over to... Moving right along in the trade tracker. You guys see me use this all the time in the live streams. This is the electronic version of the trade tracker, and this is important. I gotta say, I know people think this is a gimmick, but I just thought, we were talking with a trader earlier today that, this is a over trading solution. If you're one of those, you have a hard time pulling yourself away. I'm trying to incentivize you with this neat little, it's got this cool sound effect thing going on. I like to turn the sound on where when I click the toe in, TIW stands for toe in the water. People always ask it all the time. Toe in the water. You hear me? Toe in the water. Like, I'm like, I'm not going to go full in on this position. Maybe trade number one. I'm not usually trying to go all in kind of scenario. I'm usually like, oh, okay, let me kind of toe in the water here, quarter position on my second. And this reminds me to increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5, which comes back to the whole thing we just talked about earlier. Kind of a great segue from the question somebody said earlier. Well, what happens if I've got like 2 or 3 in a row? Should I just quit? If I'm increasing my trade size, so if I take a loser here and here, well, the first one was like a little toe in the water, just a small loser. Okay, quarter position, like, okay, a little bit deeper there. Oh no, my third one was a half position. Well, I haven't even done a full position yet. Now, so if I am focused mentally on my next one, I've already got it written right there. If I have checked these off, and this one, when I flip the coin, and I'll show you here in a minute. If you are new with this, you don't know what happens here. If you basically click on one of these, it will flip it and make it look like a little coin. And you can either make it, you can press it once and it will turn green, twice to make it red. So in the scenario where he had said earlier, someone was asking about what happens if I take 3 loser in a row. This was from a market hodler down there. He said, what do I do if I have 3? Well, I'm looking for a big play right here. I got 2 more shots, right? Remember, I'm like, okay, I got my ready to rock and roll. Remember, I only need 1. I need 1 good one to wipe out my 3 losers. That's the way that I approach the game, because I mentally am already set to, I'm looking to do full and full plus on my trade 4 and trade 5. So let's talk about how this little tool works here. So I think there's a little GUI graphic Giphy here on one of these. Which one is it moving here? One of these I think is moving. There it is. So you see as they're clicked, so click 1 time, it turns green. Click 2 times, it turns red. And you got sound on or sound off. It makes a neat little sound effect there for you. And through the magic of television broadcast, I'm going to bring mine over here. So this is mine from this morning. I think I only took 1 trade this morning. You guys saw that on live stream. There's that beautiful sound. I like that sound. I don't know, it's cathartic. If trade 3 was a loser, I tap it twice, click it twice, there's red, and now I might be looking for, okay, well, I'm 2 for 2. Or not really 2 for 2, but I'm like 2 winners, 2 losers. All right, I'm looking for my 4th one. There we go, and I got a winner, and that might be done. Like, remember, when I am winner, winner, chicken dinner, I'm just looking for a bonus at the end. So rather than clicking this one, I might be looking for this one right here. Because if I've already got my 2 winners on the day, remember, I'm looking for 2 winners and a bonus. Okay, because remember, we're riding a bull. If you keep thinking that you can get in the ring with Mike Tyson, that is the equivalent of you continuing to go out there and just trade and trade and trade and trade in the markets. You need to make sure you're throwing jabs. I hope you're a scalper if you're doing that, okay? And you're not holding on to trades if they start to go against you. You got to be a quick scalper. Quick scalp in, quick scalp out. You also have to scalp your stops, okay? If it didn't do exactly what you thought it was going to do, be like, nope. Learn to say this word. And I'm going to show you exactly the cadence in which to say it. But you don't just say nope. You don't say nope. Nope. You got to say it like this. Are you ready? Nope. 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 As fast as you can say it. Nope. Ain't happening. Nope. It's literally a nope. Going on a blind date. Shows up at your door. Open the door. She got a nose ring, purple hair. Knows she votes Democrat. Probably got her face mask on, but you can still see her nose ring popping out the top. She got her face diaper on, right? Because she's believing in COVID and took 5 booster shots. Same word in the same tone. Okay, picture that moment. Picture it. You know what I'm saying? You open the door, like, and what do you say? Nope. Ka-chink. And hopefully she loses your address because she'll probably burn your place down because she's that type of person. It's a nope. All right, or maybe take her out. Okay, get her something to eat. Maybe pat her on the back, smiles because you literally don't want her to burn your place down, and just say, I'm just not ready. Just not ready for this, okay? It's me, not you. You're great. You're fantastic. Please don't burn my place down. I mean, everything. Nope. I'm terrible. Okay, next. Make sure you are keeping track of your trade counts, and this is one of the ways to not over trade. And if you are going to keep trading and you're going to scalp, quickly give it a nope. That trade starts turning ugly. Nope. That trade starts looking like it needs a booster shot. Nope. Okay. Don't let her burn your house down. Do not let it burn your house down. Okay, not happening. Not on my watch. Okay. How to catch market cadence. This is so important. If you see any video of mine that says cadence in it, literally go to the AlgoBox official YouTube channel and search for the word cadence. Spelled like this because people always have a hard time spelling it. C-A-D-E-N-C-E. Let's all type it in the chat so you can find it, and everyone else can too. If you're watching this later, put it in the comments. Cadence, a very important word right next to nope. Cadence. Okay, 2 words you're learning from tonight. If you didn't learn anything else, nope. Taking it quick. And cadence, C-A-D-E-N-C-E. Watch every video I have put out on cadence. It will open your mind and remind, like maybe play it a couple times until it is ingrained in you, because it's going to help you in that moment when you're like, do I stay in the game? Can I stay in the game? How do I stay in the game? Because it's not about will you stay in the game. It's how you stay in the game, because you shouldn't just stay in the game if you suck. If you are sucking, cut it out. But it's not about just leaving. I had some conversations before I came on the live chat here tonight. The people who do this whole thing, I just got to walk away. I just don't want to. People avoid pain and they don't want to look at it. That is not how winners win. You cannot be a winner if you are a loser in your mindset, and you are a loser if you cannot face the pain. If you are one of these people who are like, oh, it's painful, I don't want to deal with it. Oh, I just got to walk away for my mental health. Hormozy has a great video on this. You can go listen to him. If you don't believe me, go listen to the guy with the long hair and the beard. I used to have a long hair and beard for a while there. Okay, but go listen to that guy tell you the same thing. If you are worried about your mental health, then well, you shouldn't trade, period. Okay, that's a whole other thing. I don't think like anything in life, actually, if you're worried about your mental health, like everything hard, everything worth doing is going to cause some mental pain, but the same way that you go to the gym. It's like, why do you avoid the gym? Because you want to avoid the pain? Well, that's why you don't get the gain. If you're trying to get the gain without the pain, it's not going to happen. You have to face it and get better at it. And I'll give you the cheap shot. I'll give you the cheap way, the easy way. If you want to get better at your trading, literally tonight, after this video, stay up late, go watch my last 12 live streams. If you watch 12 of my live streams, you cannot help but be changed. You will be better. Literally, it is impossible, in my opinion, to watch 12 of my live streams in reverse order, meaning the most recent stuff and work your way backwards, because now you've got the most recent tools, and I have only gotten better. Over time, even me, I continue to improve. It's not like, oh, Vinny just stopped and here's his tool. Vinny is this tool and he stays at where he is. I am continuously sharpening and getting sharper and better every day. Have you seen the size of my P&L lately? It is just getting bigger and better because the tools get better and I also get along better with it. I've got better ways to say things. I have learned more things from more people and I apply it because I am obsessive with it. Learn from me. Learn from the guy who's better than you. Stop watching your own replay stuff for a little bit. Unless you're there to tell yourself what you're doing wrong, but you don't learn how to identify fake currency by studying fake currencies. In banking, they give the tellers real cash and they put it in their hands, real money, and they let them feel it. They let them look at it. They put it in the light. They talk to them about the colorings of real trades, good paper, good currency, so that they can spot a bad one. If you are not watching more of me than you're watching of you, then you are not improving. I'm going to say that again. If you are watching more of you than you are watching me, you are not improving. I'm going to say it one more time. If you are not watching me more than you are watching you, you are not improving. Or someone who's better than you. And there are no guru furus better than me. Fact. Go look. Go try to find one. And one Lance B? Bring Lance B to me. Watch me hand him any day of the week. Same numbers, same amounts. I will smoke him. And anyone else. With AlgoBox, you cannot win. Why? Because we have a cheat. It's like me, like Popeye with his spinach. You cannot beat me. Superman without the kryptonite. You cannot beat me. Period. So if you want to watch the best, you will become better. Period. You cannot not get better, in my opinion. So, and I dare you to try it. Watch 12 and prove it to me that you actually watched it. I want to go look at the watch time on the videos. I don't know if you know, but it's a little bar down there because some people are like, oh, I watched your videos, Vinny. I go, I can tell when a person hasn't. I'm like, okay, let's get on a screen share. Open up TeamViewer. Right about this moment, they're like, starting to sweat. They're like, oh, pull up their watch history. You know, I see them watching, you know, Shakira. I'm like, wow, you're watching a bunch of A shaking. Okay, where's me? Oh, there's one of me. Oh, hey, you watched the first 3 minutes of that one. Oh, neat. Okay. Look, you didn't hit the like button. Huh. Didn't hit the like. You watched 3 minutes of it. No comment. So no notes, no note. Wow. So you absorbed that one really well. Okay, let's look at the next one. Oh, you watched another one? Oh, okay. That one. Well, there's no like, and I don't see a bar on it all. So you didn't watch this one? Yeah, I did. Are you sure? Well, I don't know why it's not showing it. I must. Maybe I watched it from my phone. Okay, pull up your phone. Yeah. I don't have a YouTube login. Oh, shut up. All right, I'm getting off of my soapbox. My point is this: get better by watching someone who's better. You don't get better by watching you, or going boo-hoo and walking away. You want to get better? Stay in the game. Not playing. If you're playing you, like you're just like people say practice makes perfect. No, it doesn't. Perfect practice makes perfect. Still practicing nonsense, practicing your habits. You cannot erase a habit. You cannot erase, you must replace. It's another rhyme that I tell you all the time. You cannot erase a habit. You must replace the habit, which means you have to have something else in its place. So watch someone better. I would suggest you watch me. Make sense? And Vinny just wants to watch some of his videos because he gets paid from YouTube monetization. You can literally go check the flag on my account. It literally has monetization turned off. I make $0 from YouTube. Zero! Which is why I also play whatever music I want. Trade tracker. Install it. Make sure you use something to make sure that you don't overtrade. Toe in the water. Quarter position. Half position. Full plus. Bonus. Okay? After you've taken your trade, boom. Trade number 1, boom. Trade number 2, etc., etc. Okay, all right. Daily tracker sheet. So I do recommend that you clear out your NinjaTrader database on the regular for performance reasons. And if you do that, where you're like, well, I want to be able to track my progress over time, that's why I provide you a daily tracker sheet that has some really cool features and makes things look really neat for yourself, so you can still track your progress over lengthier periods of time. And this is free, regardless of whether you are in with AlgoBox or not. If you want to go download our tracker, you can go get this, get a copy of this. And it is basically a fancy Excel spreadsheet. And you fill in the cells over here. And then it gives you neat little layouts over here. Not a lot to talk about this one. Daily P&L, track performance over months and years. Here's a quick link to download it. The Tide Wave Visualizer, another one of those tools you'll see me use in the live streams. Now, this is just more of a visual tool, not an absolute necessity, but I do have it. This is something that I referred to this a lot more. I say back in the day. I wanted to see, like, if the market was green that day, I literally wanted to see this. I wanted to see, this is my live one. I just wanted this giant green blob staring me in the face. I'll put it at the top right-hand corner of my screen, right like this. And then it's right there staring at me. It's like, longs are favorable today. Vinny, would you please stop trying to fight the trend? If the tide and the wave are gigantically green, bro, it's staring you in the face. The high time frame is on the way up. Stop trying to short it. Does that make sense? So this is one of those. If this is you, we've all, we've probably been this. If you're not this type of person right now, you've probably been at some point in your career where you fought the trend. Am I right? Zoom in on this. Click it. Look. This is going to hurt your eyes. It's so bright. Ah! Staring you in the face. That is the purpose of the Tide Wave Visualizer. Just another tool in the arsenal. Here's a quick little video on it. And a nice little short there for you to go through that one. Let's move on to position sizing, which I think somebody just segued for me. He says, what are your trading size? What are your names, Sabu? All right. Position sizing can make or break a trader's results. Proper position sizing is important. You can have multiple losses in a row and recoup everything in one trade. Look at that. It says it right there. Look at that. It says it right there. This goes back to the question that someone else had, right? With appropriate position sizing. This is not to be confused with the martingale strategy popularized in the world of gambling. You must decide how many contracts to trade based on... So this comes back to Dan's question. He's asking, what are your trade size? Okay, well, my trade size, do you think it's going to be the same size as your trade size? Let's think about it. Dollars risked per trade, your account equity size, the liquidity of the market. Because I'll talk about this. People are like, well, what's your size, Vinny? Depends on the time of day. Depends on the session. Depends on what the market is doing. Depends on where I'm at in my P&L on the day. It is dependent. Now, I'm not a big fan of saying, when I want to give you a specific answer, I give you a specific answer as often as humanly possible. When you come and bring, a question like this, this isn't the, the main focus of what AlgoBox is here for. AlgoBox is here to give you good trade opportunities. Your sizing and positioning and how big you are going to play on those is up to you. And now there are a lot of factors that come into that I will teach on, like you'll hear my thinking through during live stream events or my Rocket Replay sessions, which is why when I said earlier, you got to come and see it. People think, oh, I'm going to go through his 10-day boot camp and that's it. I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to come to the live streams. I don't need to waste my time. I'm going to go watch Netflix because Netflix is more fun to watch. I'm going to go watch some booty shaking. Yeah, I'm going to watch Vinny go over here and talk through and walk through and play, great trades and get better. You're only going to get better. I won't say you're only going to get better, but if you really want to get better, you're going to need to come and watch somebody better than you. And that has a lot to do with sizing. There's a lot to do with sizing and working through a position, especially managing multiple contracts, and particularly with my technique of half on, half off ad. And that is hard to teach. I have a video on it, and it's in the advanced level section. You got to see it multiple times, number one, and then you got to see me do it in live streams a lot, and then you got to practice it, and you need to do it in a 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 3 4 4 4 4 4 5 5 5 5 5 methodology. If you are doing 1 2 3 4 5, you're never going to pick it up. The tick value of the market. So another one, like, am I going to go the same size on ES as I am on the NQ? No, right? I'm going to size down on something large. If I'm going to trade some giant FDAX at $32.50 a tick, am I going to go the same size? No. So this is saying the various things that go into deciding on your trade size. Okay. Which trade number are you on, right? Am I on trade number 1 or am I trade number 4 or 5? The speed and market, speed and volatility of the market, right? Earlier today, I literally took one trade and I was done for the day because it was wild, right? Today was insane. Literally, I haven't seen this in a long time. 9:35, there was a news event. 5 minutes after the open, 9:35. There was a news event at 9:45, right in the middle. There were 2 events at 9:45. Trump tweeted at 9:42 to 9:43, insanity incurred, and then backed up with a 9:45. Then there was another one at 10 a.m. Then another one at 10:15 a.m. Then crude oil inventories at 10:30, and then another one at 11. It was insane amounts of news coming in today. So go watch my live stream. You want to see patience being played out? Go watch me do it in the deal. Now, this isn't like other gurus who are just like literally all they ever do is take one trade a day. Normally, how many trades a day am I in here? When I'm on live streams and I'm doing a full session with you guys and I'm doing full 6-hour whatevers, while I have the 5 trade standard operating procedure, a guy like me who has been around the markets for a very long time and I got the cheat called AlgoBox, I can continuously play that day knowing as I go from session to session to session because of the amount of time I have spent in the game. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to a normal person. Like a normal person coming in, I know that you're playing in the rodeo and you're hopping on that bull and you need to hop on and hop off. Canceled TV when you got AlgoBox, smart man. Well, he's been putting up bigger numbers than me. If there's anybody in the room who's been putting big numbers up, Plutonium, he started putting up such massive numbers. It caught my attention. I had to go and I had to schedule a call with the man. I was like, will you please allow me to have a call with you? Please, sir. Plutonium, will you please take my call? And he was so gracious to take my call and we have a chat. And I found out some golden nuggets in there. He's not doing anything magical outside of our system, but he literally upped his size. He went not on trade size, bar size. He said his lowest time bar he ever uses on NASDAQ was the 4s. He said he's mostly taking his trades off the 4s and 6s. And I was like, you know what? Because I usually stop around 3s. I really like to see that low volatility stuff. And then I'm like at 2, 3, and it gets really fast. I'm at 3. I rarely move up to 4. I feel like I'm missing something on the 4s, but he was right. I went 4s, 6s, so I had to be encouraged to see somebody killing it first for me to like make that change, and I was doing okay still. But yeah, I was watching. I mean, he was doing $33,000 days, $28,000 days, $22,000 days, $18,000 days, massive, big 5-figure days, repetitively, not a fluke, consistently. And I was like, all right, I got to see what he's doing. It's amazing. And it helped me. When was the last time I had less than a 5-figure day? Maybe today, all right? I had 6,000 something today. If you include the bots, it was over 13,000. It was awesome, right? So Plutonium says he canceled TV when he got AlgoBox and he got really good at it because he wanted to. You got to be willing to sacrifice some things. The pain of losing your TV, the pain of losing Netflix. Oh no. The pain of losing your booty shaking videos. Oh no. You got to come watch Vinny. Oh no. Gonna get better. Oh no. And Plutonium can quote me. The guy, I've seen him answer questions in the chat and he's like, Vinny says, and it's like, He's got, I don't even know. What's your method for taking notes? Remind me. Are you a Notions guy? Do you put all your stuff in Notion? But, you know, the man speaks the truth. Put the other stuff away for a minute if you want to get good at this. The potential in the infinite upside, depending on how far you want to take it. OneNote? I'm a OneNote guy too. Yeah, I love OneNote. How did I miss these funny ones? What ATM would you use if taking trades off of the 9 AB during high volatility? I would not have a ATM on. I would play naked entries, and if the market was going whippy, I would press the add stop button here. And I do this I won't say all the time, but I do this quite often. All right, you'll see this ATM set to none, and then I will use my add stop button. Are the markets currently on and moving? Okay, we are moving. It's just super slow after hours. All right, so let's say I put in a buy, now just hit add stop. See how easy that was? Add stop, add stop, add stop, add stop. Press naked, bloop. Now they're all gone. Back down to 1. Kill it, no problem. Add stop, naked. Add stop, naked. Add stop, naked. Because if I'm playing off a high time frame, I'm looking for a high target, right? I'm looking for some big play. And this is, again, like, I can tell you, I can say it, but it's like, if you asked me how to swim, and I told you, okay, here's what you do. You hold your breath, jump in the water, and then you go like this. Technically, that would be correct. But until you get in the water and do it, do you understand? Like, it ain't the same. It's like that. Now, you got to do it a lot. You got to go do the strokes. You got to feel that. But I can tell you the technique, right? I can teach you how to do a butterfly stroke and all that kind of whatnot. Teach you how to do breaststroke. Teach you how to do, I don't know, what's the other one? No, we should do freestyle, backstroke. I can tell you, I can teach you. Then you got to get in the water and do it a lot to get good at it. Example. The following are 2 examples of Vinny Emini's position sizing structure. Toe in the water. I love that this example is here. So first, couple things. Remember, one thing is if you've been using my trade tracker tools, let's listen to that cathartic sound one more time. There we go. Reset across the board. What does it tell you? If you're using my tools, it's already re-ingrained. You know, it's reinforcing this for you all the time. What's that TIW? Oh, that's right. He goes toe in the water, quarter position, half position, full plus, bonus. Okay. These can be different for every person. Like, what if you're trading micros? You're like, you know what? I got about 1/10 of Vinny's size of his deal. So do the same sizing that I do, but on micros, perhaps. Now, be careful on trading micros data, because I just don't trust micros data. Are y'all feeling me on this? I don't trade a lot of micros, but I don't even know how they magically make micros happen. But yes, like, events will show up, RTOFA events will show up, but I feel like I would trust the RTOFA data on the mini more so than the micro. Does that make sense? So I would look at, if I was trading a micro, I would have the chart of the mini for my R2FA events, and if I want to execute, I'd probably execute on my micros chart. Y'all follow? Understand what I'm saying? So, toe in the water. But my point is like, so that my toe in the water, let's say my toe in the water is 2, you might be doing 1 for your toe in the water. Or if I'm doing 4 for my toe in the water, you might be doing 1. Or if mine is 1 for toe in the water, you might be doing 2 micros, etc. Or if you're just like, dude, I got the size of Vinny's got, let's go, and I'm feeling confident in it. I know what's up. I'm going to play the cadence like he plays it. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to stick to the game and the routine. I'm going to take the breaks like he says. I'm going to learn to play Battlefield 3 along with his trading and whatnot. Or I think up front, what you should really do is trade you, do those 2 to 5 trades, and then go watch my live streams. Right? This is my biggest thing that I'm going to say, to even somebody else who was struggling earlier today. Do you, and then come watch me. Do you, and then come watch me. Do you, then come watch me. And I'm not talking about live that day. Yes, stay in with me in that live stream that day. Yes. But I'm saying when you're done, you had your 1 or 2 trades and you're like, oh, but I want more. I just want more. And I love AlgoBox so much. I have to press the button. It's addictive. I get it. But in that moment, right now, where you currently are, you know you're dangerous to yourself. You have been there. You've seen it. You're at that point where you're about to you want to throw in the towel. At that moment, you get the towel. Instead of throwing in the towel, you wipe the sweat off your face, the fart stains off your seat because you crapped yourself that day. You clean yourself up, take a deep breath, and then you just press play. Press play on what, Vinny? AlgoBox official live streams. Vinny Emini official live streams. You watch the most recent 12 in reverse order, and then you go to one of those days where hopefully you've taken notes on, and I wish you would put timestamps down in the comments to where, hey, this is really cool. So you have that timestamp back on that video that you put so you can look for your comments so you can go back to where you think something was important. How many of you guys use the timestamps? Hardly any of you. Put a timestamp at the most important point where you think something was valuable to you. Put a timestamp there. I've seen some of you guys say whatever I said in the chat, but why not go, you know what is a timestamp? Cool. Next time when I come back to this, I'm gonna look at my comments and I'm gonna see it. Did you know that you can look at the history of your comments? You can use them as notes. And I'm not talking about go to the video. I'm literally going in YouTube. You can go to your own history of your comments. And if you stop watching all your booty shaking for a minute and come over here and watch my stuff, you'd have valuable comments. And now you can go to your comment section, go to all your little timestamps and click to them. And they'll take you straight to the video, straight to the moment when I said or did whatever it was that you wanted to put in there in your timestamp, but you don't do it. Y'all won't do it. And you're like, oh, I don't know why I suck. I know Vinny says to do a thing, but I just don't do it because I don't really think it's going to help. Because you don't think so, but I know so. You don't think, but I know. Do it. Watch what happens. Try me. What do you got to lose? Another account? Oh, it's a joke. Knock on wood. Do your trades and then go watch other live streams of mine. You don't have to go straight to market replay. Doing more of you is not going to help you. If you're going to be specific in your practice, though, if you're going to practice, I'll tell you, you want to get dirty. You want to get dirty. You want to become thebomb.com. Do you? You want me to tell you exactly what to do right now? This one technique. After you look, you know how to do a headshot. Okay? You know how to enter an Enigma. You know a headshot. You know a DCDM. You know a DCDR. They're easy. But you want to become thebomb.com. You want to become dangerous. Take a ride on Dr. Seuss. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go into the advanced level videos right here. You want to become dangerous? Watch me, Dr. Seuss, across multiple trades. Go into my live streams, and if you watch the last 12 live streams, you will hear me say, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. Add Dr. Seuss entry. Okay, I'm going to take a Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. I'm Dr. Seussing the rest of this. Dr. Seuss. You don't know what that is? You don't know one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish? You got a messed up childhood because you didn't get to read Dr. Seuss books? Learn my way then. This is your time. It's your time to make up for lost time. Dr. Seuss will change your P and L. Draw a coffee mug on that one. Watch me do Dr. Seuss, and then you go to those days in market replay, and then you do it. The problem is y'all just watch sometimes. Because I know it takes that extra step. This is a difference between ordinary and extraordinary. You know what the difference is between the ordinary and the extraordinary? It's one tiny little thing. Extraordinary is spelled ordinary with a little extra in the front. Extraordinary is extra at the beginning. Do the extra and you will be extraordinary. Learn to do this. Do what I told you to do and watch if you don't get better. I am willing to put my money on it. Make a bet with me. You'll lose, but hey, buy me a brew or something. It'll be fine. You'll be okay. Think, oh, it's impossible, Vinny. I heard somebody tonight say, oh, I had to take care of other things in life. Shut up. There are tons of videos for you to tell you how to do things and get more time in your day. Impossible. Well, it is until you spell it properly. Spelled the same, but it has a U involved. It's up to you. It's up to you to do it, but it's action, not words. It's action, not thoughts. Oh, think about it. Do. The difference between businesses that succeed and businesses that fail. Hormozy taught me this one. He said, businesses don't fail from lack of ideas. Because everybody's got ideas, all right? Oh, I got a thought. They got tons of ideas. It's the action on those ideas. They fail from the inability to execute on the idea. And that really generally comes from laziness or, oh, I'm tired. I gotta go make my meal. I gotta go spend 3 hours cooking a meal. I gotta go do this other thing. And what does Hormozy say? He's like, go to Chipotle, eat the same thing for a while every single day. Get the sustenance that you need. Don't spend any time on prep work. Eat cheap. Eat less often. There's an easy way to cut into it. You are eating 3 times a day. What are you, stupid? I'm sure you're overweight. Go check your BMI. You don't know if you're overweight or not. Well, I'm just a little beefy. I'm just a big boned. No, you're not. You're fat. Go check the BMI scale. If the BMI scale says, oh, well, it's because it's more muscle's more dense, shut up. If the BMI thing says you're carrying around too much weight, you're carrying around too much weight, save yourself. Get some time back on your dime. You can make a dime. Spend your time. Find some time. All right. Am I going off on enough of my tangents on a... It's only day 3. Oh, my goodness. All right. We got 15 more minutes here. Hang with me. Examples. 2 examples. Position size and structure. Toe in the water, quarter position, half position, full, and full plus for trade 5. And I might go from 1, 2, 4, 8 to 10. Example 2, 2, 4, 8, 16. There's my full contact position normally right there. When I say my full is generally 16, you'll hear me talk about that a lot on my live streams. For me, everybody is different on that. Futures trading, the term contracts bears similarity to shares and stocks trading, contracts and options, and lots in foreign exchange. This may or may not be important to you. This is just nomenclature to know when we're talking about contract size. In stocks, you're like, how many shares are you trading? How many options contracts are you trading? How many lots are you doing? And they might say pips instead of ticks, etc. Make sense? That's right. Note to watch those Dr. Seuss plays. Absolutely. Now, if somebody wants to make a compilation video of those afterwards, even better. I'll pay you for it. All right. Vinny Emini uses the above position sizing structures with the trade tracker to take advantage of the concept of cadence or sequence of wins of trade. I think we've covered that a lot today. That exact thing is just now written out here in the notes for you. But try not to be too lazy with our documentation. Our documentation is thebomb.com, right? This is a 2-year plus endeavor to create all of this graphical setup with all of our documentation, which are basically like notes on everything that we do here and stuff that I do. ATM and stop losses. The size of your stop loss and how many contracts traded determines your monetary risk. If you do not apply a stop loss to your trade, your entire account equity or more is at risk. Stops are strategy based. So tiny, small, big, and bigger. Absorb this. You'll hear me talk about this a lot in our live streams. We do have it. You'll notice almost all these are 25. Because I really just don't like to lose more than 25. Like I obsess about when that number, and I have my my little counter thing. You can set it to dollars, and for the longest time, I used to, even myself, I shifted over time, learning even from, well, let me back up. I told everybody to use currency for the longest time because I'm like, a lot of times you want to target your currency, and you really should. You should know where you're at in your P&L. Everybody who plays this game, like, oh, I don't want to see the P&L. Oh, I don't want to see it. Look, stop it. Look, just look. Keep your eyes on the ball. However, our strategies have become so mechanical and quantitative. I have found it was easier counting ticks where I'm going. I actually want the tick counter on, but people who were doing that before, they were like, I just don't want to see the numbers. Oh, I get stressed out about seeing the numbers. It wasn't that. If you're doing that, yes, I still have the same troll that I used to troll people on before. Like, stop being weak. Stop being, oh, I don't want to see the dollars. It's not about the dollars. I do have tick counts on, but it's not about not seeing the dollars, be distracted by the dollars. It is about seeing the tick counts. And so you'll see me when it hits 25, I'm like, oh, don't go beyond 25. Oh, it's 25. Okay. So I will try to take my loss. Max loss for me is 25 ticks. Why? It's a mental thing for me because most of my targets go off of 10 and 15. I hardly ever use this. Tiny is basically only used for superstition busting. You'll hear me say, oh, I'm $400 away from my main target. All right, I'm doing a superstition buster. Tiny ATMs are in play just to try to nudge it over the end. And still sometimes that doesn't work out. It's weird with that superstition, I'm telling you. The roast session has begun. What roast session is this? Only session 3 and Vinny's already roasting this? Oh my goodness. Okay. 25 tick stops across the board because it is a combination of 10 and 15, right? I know that like if I can get a 10 and a 15, I'm good. I can do a 10 and 15 pretty much with ease in one fell swoop, right? So my 25 tick stop, I keep that in mind on a 25 because it's literally 10 plus 15. So if I lose a 25 tick, all I need is a 10 and a 15. And I'm still not breaking that up. I'm not saying 2 trades. In one trade, it's a 10 tick and a 15 tick. And I can do it with multiple contracts. I increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5. It is just a combination thing. I don't even have to hit a 25 tick winner. I can hit a 10 and a 25 times 2. Makes sense? Get it? All right, big and bigger. And again, we also, they are larger ones in this, especially if I'm doing Titanic zones or playing off a higher time frame. This is just in general what is coming out of the box by default with AlgoBox. If you're wondering what is tiny, small, big, and bigger coming out with the ATMs. And when you're starting out, this is great to have those, and taking bigger and big on the slightly higher time frame entry, the Ripple B, and the small or tiny on the Ripple A. And I do have a psychological trick. If you are caught in one of these where you need to increase your win rate because you're like, I need some wins. One of my old mentors taught me this, and still sticks to me this day. It's really weird. There's a lot of things that just kind of went past me and whatnot, but this locked in with me one time. And it was Oliver Velez, and he said, if you're having trouble, you need to increase your win rate. He said, you need to get through a moment, get through a time scenario. He says, cut your target in half and double your stop. Dude, but that's too much risk. That's messing up your R and da-da-da-da-da-da. Because I've been listening to Twitter, and it's all Twitter says, dude, this Twitter traders, they're all fake. If they can't live stream it and do it in front of you, what are they teaching you for? What do they have I just don't think they have any business doing it. If they can't do it in front of you, I think they have no business talking to you. That's my personal opinion on it. You're over there, no, I believe his tweet. Shut up. Shut up. I'm roasting them all tonight. Sorry. So you might want to switch to tiny. If you're having a hard time for the moment, like just go prove to yourself that, you know what, this thing, every time one of these occurs, like I'm getting a tiny, I'm getting a 5 and a 10 out of it. I just keep trying to hold out for 30 or 40 ticks. That's my problem. I keep doing that. Okay, well, there's going to be a moment when you do that. When you are getting really consistent, you'll start doing kind of what you'll see me in the live stream. I'm waiting for a high time frame scenario coming in there. If I get a multi-ready DD on a scenario, I know I'm kind of setting up for something that might be a bigger time frame coming into play. And I can get that double big bag, right? The big bag is 20, and the double big bag, we've got a couple of plays for that. DDSR, right? DDSR, that is a double delta shift reversal. And some of you guys who are like, oh, I had to step away. I didn't want to see it. I just haven't been. You don't even know what that is. Now you got to spend all this time catching up, and then you could have been practicing this entire time. Even if you're going to step away, then why not step away and watch somebody? You're like, okay, I'm not going to press the buttons, but I'm going to watch Vinny get better. I want to get better at this. I want to have a comeback. I don't understand the people who take their max loss and walk away and are like, I'm just going to suck up this loss. I don't understand that. And maybe that's the birds of a feather flock together, eagles of a feather flock together. Okay, well, what do you want to be? You want to be a chicken, or you want to be an eagle? All right, you got to hang around eagles if you want to be an eagle. You're going to go hang around your cluckers because you feel better about it. You're going to be KFC next week. Fried and tasty. Delivered hot and on your doorstep by Uber. One of ICT students going to deliver it to you hot and on time or no tip. All right, sorry, I'm roasting too many people. Now I'm roasting chicken. All right, let's move on. All AlgoBox ATM stop strategies have a default the monetary risk calculated by the tick value of the market traded multiplied by the number of ticks of the stop loss. We talked about that the other day on each of the instruments and their different values. We have $5 a tick, $10 a tick, $12.50 a tick, and we did talk about some outliers there. FDAX, $32.50, etc. Is a double big bag, 40 ticks take profit? Yeah, yep. For me, yeah. You'll hear me say double big. Yeah, a bag. Big bag is 20. Standard bag, 10-15. Grab a bag, 10-15. Dynamic sizing. Don James, bring in the wisdom here for the moment. The dynamic sizing, even in games like poker. Now you're like, oh, it's because he's going to do a poker analogy because trading is gambling. I don't think so. Not when you have AlgoBox. It's not. When you have AlgoBox, it's more like cheating, not gambling. Okay, which one? Oh, they're both bad. Okay, fine, whatever. We're not saving lives here. But you can save a life probably with the funds that you collect if you collect enough, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to be like, well, Jesus says you don't. Where really? Jesus was literally given gold, frankincense, and myrrh on day one. Well, it wasn't really day one. Don't get me started. Hell, when the wise men came to him, but they gave him enough money to last his entire lifetime on basically his infancy. So Get off on this whole bag of like, oh, Jesus didn't have any money. Yes, he did. He had a freaking treasurer, for crying out loud. You don't need a treasurer if you got no money. Oh, I got 3 dimes. Oh, hey, you mean my treasurer? Will you be my treasurer and make sure that we're spending our money wisely? I've got 3 pennies in my pennies. Think about it. Oh man, I'm breaking hearts tonight. All right, let's get back on target. I'm gonna have to delete this one and do day 3 again, aren't I? Oh my goodness. Market tick value. We talked about this. This formula may assist you in determining your own position size and structure for each trade. Remember to factor in commissions. It may vary from broker to broker. Vinny Emini has his own max loss per day of $15,000. So I got a mental thing with 15K too. I'm like, I can come back for 15,000. Beyond that, it's like, you know, that's gonna be rough. I can do $15,000 days, no problem. You go, you know, I'm gonna get the rare scenario of a 20, 25, 30, 40, 50K days. Way more rare. We had a 90K day 2 weeks ago, or is it a week and a half, when all that massive volatility occurred. We did a whole 6-hour day. But yes, so I have one. You should have one. Mentally, where is your like mental, like, for me, it's like, well, what can I make back in a day on the max? Like if you're doing really well, what's your max? That should be your max loss, in my opinion. But that's, everybody's different. I can't tell you what you should do. You need to deal with you, yourself, and whoever else is involved in your day-to-day life to determine what your loss limit is going to be. Based on the day's starting equity, impossible due to large account size, determine your own max loss. You know the drill on that. I'm here to teach you about AlgoBox and all of that fun stuff. We have 7 minutes. That is position sizing. We're going to go into the position manager buttons. So I showed you some of those just moments ago when someone was asking about, hey, what do I do if I'm playing on this? That is going to be these brackets, add stops, naked, flatten all, half, and double. These are buttons added by AlgoBox. These are not included with NinjaTrader. These are in the AlgoBox system there for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I just got those mixed up. That's the button panel. My apologies. That's down here. I'm jumping ahead of myself. This is position manager. That's the buttons down here at the bottom, which we have not talked about yet. So when you have them collapsed, they will look like this. ETN, ETF, EOTF, if you're wondering like, what is this crazy code down here? What are these buttons going on down here? And if I expand, oh, just click the wrong button. Just click the wrong button. Always on top, right click, always on top. There we go. All right, so if I expand this, wow, I just did it again. Thank goodness I hit always on top that time. Stop laughing at me. Sound dropped. Does it sound good? Okay, still good? Okay. So, if you're wondering what ETN stands for, ETN stands for each tick near. EOTN stands for every other tick near. Each tick far, every other tick far. Stack 10, stack 30, stack 20, spread them. What are all of these? Don't worry, we're going to cover it right now on the position manager buttons. The AlgoBox position manager is included in the suite of AlgoBox professional trading tools. You can add the position manager to any chart of your choice. It enables quick management of stop losses and targets with a single click. You no longer have to painstakingly click and drag each individual stop, target, etc. on the chart, which can make your trading easier, especially in fast-moving markets and managing multiple contract positions. Here we go. Let's talk about them. Oh, you can change the colors of these. Some people are always like, oh, you know, I have a hard time with red and green. Change them into what you want. I've seen some people that have some cool blue ones. Sometimes, like, I'm tempted. I really want to go change mine to blue. So you might see mine be blue soon. I saw the blue and purple looked pretty cool. All right. Intuitive and strategically designed buttons, providing you with seamless and easy accessibility to quickly manage your stops and targets mid-trade. Remember the stack 10, stack 30, and 20, that the stops relative to the market's current price. Why does that matter? Current price, not your entry price. Trust me, you would not want that. People have asked many times, but later on you notice, if you've ever been in a position, you'll know what I'm talking about once you understand as the trade is moving. You want the current price, not where you entered, whether it is ahead or behind of where you're at. From the current price is where those are going to apply. Same things with the every other tick near, etc. On that. Actually, no, that's where they're currently located. Forget what I just said. Each tick near this button will automatically set ticks 1 tick apart, starting with the closest target to the current price. What does that mean? It basically means I'm going to stack all your targets together like this, 1 tick apart. Okay, so there's a whole technique around this. I'll talk about it in our advanced level stuff of going, hey, if you want to hide yourself in the market so that you're not some beefy, juicy target for somebody to go hit, if you're a believer in, again, I go back and forth on whether I believe it or I don't on stop hunting and size hunting and resting orders sitting on the market tape. This is all spread out versus all like one chunk sitting right there going, come hit me. Also kind of increases your capacity for bigger wins because you are basically spreading those all out, and you either buy into that or you don't. Up to you how you want to do that. It's what I do. If you want to know how to do it, I've got the buttons there to do it for you. So you can do every tick or every other tick, because let's say you want to space them out a little bit more. So the difference between every tick versus every other tick is like this. Pretty neat. So now you're hitting every 2 ticks for that. And if you can't figure out the advantage of that, yeah, think about it. All right. Every other tick, we talked about that a minute ago. Set your stop loss 20 ticks away from the current by hitting stack 20. So if you hit the stack 20 button, this has to do, so the right hand buttons, those red ones, refer to your stop management. The green ones refer to your target management. So stack 20 is going to literally stack all the stops 20 ticks behind the current price. Now, the reason I want to do that is because I do actually want the stops stacked so that I can move them. But now, once I get them to where I want, I probably want to hit that. You were thinking earlier, what was that spread button you talked about, Vinny? Yes, spread them. So now that I've got them in one place, and I also don't want them to get tagged, so I want it to go from this, where all my stops might be stacked up in one location, all of them on one price point, sitting there at 18, 639.25. Now that they're all stacked right there, all in one spot, now I might want to press one more button and hit spread. So I hit stack 20. So it's 20 ticks behind, so I got a 20 tick stop, and then I might want to immediately follow that up by hitting the spread. What does the spread do? Does the same thing our other one did and spaces out all your stops. So there's the spread right there. Make sense? Any questions? This will give you your options. There's all your colors if you want to change the colors. It also will tell you your hotkeys if you want to hotkey those. A lot of folks have these on hotkeys. I'm still old school. I actually press these with the mouse, and I use my hotkeys for buy, sell, bid, ask, stop loss, and my top left one is the break even button, and drawing tools on my mouse mostly. Hotkeys, visual settings, changing all those colors, etc. Did I miss any questions? Pop them there in the chat. Let's see. Enigma on king timing in the direction of the MACBU without higher time frame equals 10 and 15 targets. Enigma timing direction without higher time frame 10 and 15. If you're on the ones, yes. But remember, what if you were on the higher time frame? Then what? Then you would be minimum 15, right? Just checking to make sure you know on that one. Target 1 would be 15, yes? Oh, here's a cool example one. Let's check that out. Click the button, stack them all together. Targets filled. Very nice. And, oh, I do like this one. Eddie did a really great job on this one. Let's enjoy this one together.
Watch how easy your trading could be. One-click entry hotkey with stops and targets. One-click stop management groups all your stop losses to one tag, 10, 20, or 30 ticks away, or spread out. Easily spread out your targets with one click, either to the nearest or farthest of them. If you want the targets closer, no problem. Just move one of them and use the button to do the rest. Position manager buttons, only on AlgoBox. Target, too easy.
Too easy. I like it. When will AlgoBox GPT be available? It's available now. A couple other things, like because we're programming it to learn how we do things, I'm going to the nth degree on now that you have things like agents and agency Can I create a separate DLL that allows an API interface for GPT to trade for me? You know what I'm saying? Who's excited about ChatGPT pressing the buttons for you? I don't know. I don't know. That could be dangerous. We don't even know how it works to begin with and what demon we're summoning with it. Even Elon Musk says he's summoning a demon, and he's literally the person running it. And why do they used to call daemons Daemon? I don't understand. Why is a daemon a demon? A demon a daemon? Right? Have you ever looked at that? Oh, it's a process. Why do you call it a demon? You could have named it anything else. Why do you call it a daemon? I don't know. Are y'all having fun yet? I had fun. Thanks for hanging out for session number 3. Tomorrow morning, I'll be there with you, 8 Central, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, LunchBot, Modspot, Curtis, G, and Eddie B, I am sending out the big H-Town. See ya. But don't go yet. Our art team wants to show you how it's done. Just for fun. Roll it.
The old adage where, you know, the individual investor doesn't have a chance, but the institutional investor has better technology, better information, and, you know, more money and better opportunity. I don't think it's real anymore. I think the edge is on the individual investor because they're small, they're nimble, they can trade, they can use, they have better front-end technology.
Don't waste your time. Leave the technical analysis to us. You just play the game.
Forex is littered with crooks, black hat guys, all this kind of shifty characters and companies trying to extract money from your pocket and stick it into theirs. And one of the things that they do is operate these Forex signals.
Harmonic pattern. Order filled. Target filled.